Hey there, everyone. Claire Maxwell here at Embodied Learning Systems, broadcasting from Brooklyn, New York. Today's video is about how to let yourself fall apart and really let go and bring yourself back together again. And in a little bit less poetic terms, it's just about how to get down on the ground and really let go and get some benefit from that, so that when you stand up again, you don't go back to the same place you were at. You kind of are refreshed and renewed. Okay, so we do that a lot in the Alexander technique. So this is a video also that I make for my students so that they can have some support in having guided practice. So to talk about how we do this, I wanted to show you some Bony landmarks that I'll use in my instructions. So the first Bony landmark I'll show you in my little skelly here. It's part of the temporal bone, which is on the side of your skull, and it is the mastoid process. It's called the mastoid process because a bunch of muscles connect to it that also connect to other parts of your skull. And in particular, your sternocleidomastoid muscle connects here. So that muscle is pretty important in head balance. And head balance is what you have to deal with when you want to get down on the ground. The other landmark would be your pubic bone, which might seem obvious, but what that really is a big piece of cartilage, a nice juicy piece of cartilage between your two pelvic halves here. And because your hip joints are round, it can turn as you rotate in your hips. The skeleton is a little bit too tightly pinned, but there's nothing square about your pelvis. So it's a round, curved structure, and it's heavy, so it counterbalances your head, and you'll see why I'm mentioning that. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so I'm way back here now. It's kind of like an Elmo thing. I have a setup for myself to get down on the ground, a little bit of support for the back of my head, and I like to be on a rug so the floor isn't too hard. And you don't have to have a chair, but I like to use it as an intermediate step to transfer my weight into my hands before I go down to the floor. So I don't know how many steps this is. I think it's around 10, but we'll see. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to stand wide stance so you feel stable. And just bring your hands lightly and easily to touch this landmark behind your ear hole. And tip your nose up a little bit and down a little bit. You can see that movement is very small. And I hope what you can see happening is that as I tip my head up, my pelvis drifts a little forward, and as I tip down, my pelvis drifts a little back. So there's a little wave-like motion. And if you want to put your hands on your pubic bone and just encourage it maybe to go back a little bit and to come forward a little bit, you'll discover this kind of wave-like motion through your spine that counterbalances the weight of your head with the weight of your pelvis. And I want you to use this lovely rocking to lower your center of weight a little bit. So it's like a little mini squat. And once you're there, you could even bring your hands to your sacrum or your tailbone and your pubic bone and just actually explore the rocking from there and see how your head kind of balances with that also. So there's no right way to do it, but you can go, oh, I could actually tip my pelvis forward like this and tip my head forward. Or I could tip my pelvis back and I could tip my head forward. So just play with it a little bit, but it should feel good and nice and long and springy along your spine. So once you get to a lower place, return to these bumps here behind your ears and just see what it's like to turn your head. It'd be kind of like you're trying to hear something, but you could try to lead it from that bone underneath your finger. Really gentle turning, your elbows are turning. And what you'll start to notice is if you're not holding your pelvis in place, you can see you could even shift your weight a little bit to one side and the other. And there's a rotating happening in your pubic bone and your hip joints. So you can put your hands and feel that. It's like a turning. So as you turn your head, your pelvis turns, your body turns. So you've got a lot of juiciness now. You're getting closer to the ground, the support that you need, but it should feel kind of, you've got choices about how you go. And that's when, if you need it, you can shift your weight onto your hands to put a leg behind you. And even here, you may notice, oh, it's nice to be able to turn. You could even lift one leg up and get yourself comfortable. So you're not stuck on all fours. You can move. And I'm just going to turn to face you. And I'm going to sit to the side. So this is comfortable for me. If it's not, you might try more extended. And I'm going to add in an element here of the breath. But before I do, a brief word from our sponsor. So I am your sponsor as well, Claire Maxwell at Embody Learning Systems. I've been using this platform on YouTube to get the word out about what somatic practice can do for you and what the Alexander technique as a foundational somatic practice has to offer anybody who wants to improve their relationship with their body. So if you're getting a benefit from the channel, please share it with your friends. Please subscribe. And if you would like to work with me one-on-one, I work online and in New York City, and you can book a free consultation below, 15 minutes. Really happy to talk to you, and thanks again for helping me spread the word. As you continue down to the ground now, every shift you make, I'm going to suggest that you give, at a minimum, 3 whole out breaths and then the resulting in breaths for each position. Breathing out, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in. And then on the out breath, you move to the next position, which in this case would be lying down on your side. You can support yourself this way. And breathing out. And here, breathing in, your head can still turn, and your pelvis can still turn. And breathing out, and breathing in to turn your head. As you breathe out, where's my support here, to roll onto your back. And even if you're just a little bit uncomfortable, you can, find comfort. But wait for one breath out. A breath in and a breath out. and a breath in and a breath out. My assistant is helping me out today. So from here, there are many variations that you can do. Just to open your hands to really give the full weight of your arms to the floor. With 3 out breaths, just for that gesture. To release one leg down, 3 full out breaths for the gesture. Out breath. And every out breath, a 3rd out breath, is a chance to give up a little bit more of your weight to the ground. So for today, I'm not going to go through any elaborate gestures that you could make, but simple ones are just to fold and extend your legs, both or singularly, to fold or unfold your arms. You could unfold your arms to the sky and bring them back down to the ground. But eventually, you want to give as much of your body weight to the ground as you can. And at a minimum, give yourself 3 whole exhale, inhale cycles. And once you get there, you'll see that your muscles, your bones, your organs, everything starts to release and spread and expand into the ground. And you can literally let yourself fall. And thankfully, you won't fall apart, at least physically, because your skin contains everything and it's so nice and springy, and it loves to spread and sense and feel. And the more sensory contact you receive from your skin, the more secure you feel in your body. And so as long as you have, for this gift you might give yourself, take that time and hang out there as long as you like, but I would suggest a minimum of 3 so that you're not rushing yourself. Okay, and so the same goes for the reversing of the process, which I'm not going to take all that time with. But to come up, I want you to return to beginning the movement with this bone behind your ear and your nose. That weight, that big weight of your head, shifts slightly first to start your movement. And to reverse this, you could go either way. You could release your head this way, or you could release your head up to move. You could release your head down to move. It's the same playful process. Now, when you get to this point, you do need to look up, but you can see there's all kinds of choices about how your head and your pelvis counterbalance each other to come back. And you're going to feel a little different. So you fell apart, but you came back together again, and that's available to you anytime you need it. Okay, I hope that was helpful. Peace and love.